don't even. Okay. Well, my family's just having a family reunion, and it's my dad's 80th birthday, so everybody's just being invited to this thing. But I don't care. Like, there's nothing about me that cares anything about that, them, anything, because this is all that matters to me. So I got the invitation, and so I know that this is definitely that moment in time, because it's like if I don't go, then I'm the biggest asshole in my family. But I'm not gonna go. So I am the biggest asshole in my family. They just don't know it yet, because it doesn't matter to me. None of that shit has anything to do with who this being is. I don't care. Like, it has nothing to do with why I'm here. I have no attachment to that whatsoever. Nothing. There's nothing having to do with me that has to do with them. Like, nothing. So my life is defined. My path is defined. There is no any of that. So that being something that's being presented in my timeline, it's like, I look at that as that's not even an option. It's like, really? It's like, it doesn't even make sense to me. It's like even for the invitation, reaching out to me to ask me how I am so that you can give me an invitation, you don't even know me. And it's like, and I almost want to like just respond, just be like, yo, like, I have the person you formerly knew as Rick. Like, I have his phone and he's dead. Like, I have his phone. He left it to me. Like, I really can't help you outside the fact of just telling you that he's gone.
And that shows the depth of how much the Spirit of truth has encompassed you.
Yeah, because I would really say that.
It is like, everything. Yeah. It is the Rick that was there is no longer here at all.
Because that doesn't identify with anything having to do with what you're talking to, because that was everything leading up to this point. But, I mean, that's all it was. It's not something to be carried through to this point. It's just, it was what led up to it. So now that it led up to it, now we can let it go. And that's why I never talk about it, because it's not important. And I say focus on the current moment, because the current moment's what's important.
But what's important about what you're talking about is showing the depth of what you have to let go of this physical in order to advance forward.
Yeah. And you hear it in my voice. I mean, it's not even, it's no problem. It's not, I wouldn't, there's nothing, it's done. It's done. As soon as I got it, it was done. Because I'm like, oh, that doesn't relate to me. That has nothing to do with me. It doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to my life, my mission, my job, while I'm here. Because they don't know me. Because if they knew me, then it's like, I mean, it would be a whole different situation in the first place. But it's like, they don't know me. They don't know me. Right. Because to know me is to understand me. If you don't understand me, you don't know me. And that's the difficulty with this whole thing. Because it's like, it's like people know of me. They know things about me, supposedly. But, I mean, to know me is to understand me. And to understand.
But this happens every time you come in. It has to be that way. The people that knew you before the Spiritist was able to walk in would not recognize you now. They can't. They would only see the old you. They couldn't see past that because of programming until they get rid of that.
Yeah, they don't have the eyes to see. So, I mean, this is all about timing. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, there's just not enough. There's just not the time. Like, I think that's the part that really just is conflicting in my spirit, because the humane side of me just wants a continuation, more time. But I know that there's no more time to be given, because the things that are required at this point, it's just, I mean, the words alone just aren't going to cut it. It's like, if you're not walking the walk, then it's like, I don't have anything to say to you anymore, because I just don't. I don't have time. I'm not going to commit it, because if you're not applying it, then it's a big fuck you to me. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, okay, well, all that time means what? Nothing. It means nothing. So it's like, I'm moving forward with the world right now in offering this message. And for those that are ready to do the work, because it's like, all those that aren't ready to do the work, I'm not here to convince them to do the work. It's like, they've been given the time. And some have been more fortunate than others to get a little bit more time and get a little private tutor. But I mean, this is that moment. This is that moment of where, if it's not being worked at, you are being forgotten about. In my mind, I'm forgetting about you. Because why? Because if this is the message that everyone has been saying that they've been waiting for, and I'm speaking and you recognize that it's coming through me, to put anything above me is to say fuck you. How's that for a message? That's what it is.
That's a good one, yes.
That's what it is. Yeah. Because I'm not going to accept anything less. I'm only going to commit my time to those that pay me the same respect. What in this world is better than what I'm saying? If please, I mean, anybody out here, if there is something then tell me, because let me commit my life to that. But I've looked and there's not. So what's the competition? You see what I'm saying? This is the new thing. That's the old thing.
Correct.
So what are we going to, the question just comes down to the individual. Comes down to the individual.
Do you want to
Because
stick and keep doing the same thing you've always done, or are you ready to
yeah,
move
this
forward?
is this isn't a joke. Like this isn't
No.
a joke. This isn't a joke of like, oh, you know, like maybe you have time or you're forgiving or salvation, all that bullshit. No, if you're not doing the work, you've been analyzed, you've been watched. Everything you've done has been recorded. It's been committed to the memory of consciousness. And it's like, you don't think that's gonna pop back up sometime? Yes, it will, because every word, whether you intended it or not, has been recorded. Because the heart has been what's been recorded. You know, and you can't fake it. You can't fake that fun. Like, I mean, and people have all the perfect words to fake it. But it's like, this is a message of, this why it sounds like this. Because I care enough to warn people that it's like, look, what's about to unfold in this realm of reality. It's like, look what just happened to Notre Dame. You know, it's like, look, a lot of people don't want to talk about this. That's a sign from God Almighty himself and the divine. It's like anybody that thinks anything less, forget you, because that's what that was. Why? Because Notre Dame, think about it, we even call women dames, don't we? So it's like, that's the divine feminine. So that old patriarchy, influence and control had to be burned. It was like a stick of incense on that spire. It was the new energy, that knowledge of the divine feminine being released for the first time outside the confines of that box. It was in a coffin. It was entombed. That's the time that we're living, and we get the signs all around us right now, and to see that happen, that's why I'm giving this message. Because let the church come and say something. What are they going to say? What are they going to say against the words that I say? Right? Please, anybody, the Pope himself, anybody that needs to come out and talk to me, please come out and talk to me, because we can debate. Why? Because I've laid out the rules of engagement based on the laws of existence that they claim to know. So if they claim to know, come and talk to me. Come to my table. I'm not coming to your table. I read your books. I've been at your table, and that's not the table of the divine. So come to my table, sit down with me, and let's have a conversation then. But they're not going to. Why? Because they know this is the time of their reckoning. Because they hear it. They know it.
Yes.
They've been tracking it. So now that I'm on here giving the message, oh yeah, now you're feeling it. You know? But that's the real deal with this. It doesn't matter who it is. Bring out the best that you got. Bring out your kings, your princes, your presidents, your executives, whoever you want to bring out. And let's sit down. And I will destroy these fools in a moment, because there is nothing that they can say that is not already fundamentally already explained to you as far as my reality. My reality includes their reality. Why? Because they have not firsthand experience with the things that they claim to know. I do.
Yes.
I do, and all the people that I'm talking to do too. And once they wake up, then, I mean, look, that's what I keep on saying, it's a choice. It's like, really, you're going to stand on the other side of that? Like, in just, what? Hope for what? Believe in what? Believe in something better? Believe in protection? It's like you've been warned against that. All the other means outside of that are going to lead to your demise. You know, and that's true. That's truth. Mm-hmm. And truth should just come in this realm with the pain pill. Because it really does hurt people. You know? And
it destroys. It destroys your beliefs. It destroys what you think are your foundations. Destroys the ego.
It really does.
Yeah.
And here's another thing I want to point out to all these people is that look who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. And you're a female. You're a woman. And it's like, this is what these people don't understand. They think that they know their world teachers and the people that came and gave them these messages and the life that they lived and all that other good stuff. No, they don't. Because being that has lived those experiences, then I can tell you exactly what it was. And what it was is not what they've written to you. It's not that. It's like by the 4th century, they already expunged basically anything having to do with the woman out of it. Because, I mean, she used to be a bishop. She used to be a minister. She used to baptize. She used to preach. I mean, come on, what do people think? I mean, if you look back in the day and you have 2,000 years ago, And you even still look in that region of the world and see how women are treated. So back then, it's like when people are getting baptized in those waters in the Sea of Galilee, they mostly were naked. You think they're going to have a strange dude dipping women naked that belong to another husband in some water? Please. That's why he had females with them, because they took care of those things. When they went to new cities and the women gathered together, just the women, and would talk because the men didn't want them around, he couldn't get in there. He had to send a woman in there. That's why he had the women always with him. And it even says in Luke that who bankrolled his entire mission? The women. The women put up their resources so that this message could even be in the world today.
So we've always held it.
Of course you've always
held space for it.
Always.
To come back.
And that's why you recognized me right away when I came back.
Yes.
And that's why
that's a whole nother story.
Right. But I mean, this is no mystery. It's because of the respect that I have and the knowing that I have applied to the woman, the divine feminine. It's like, I mean, I wouldn't even start to move in this realm without getting the permission, without being approved, without knowing, without being in alignment. No way. Well, how? Right? Like, it's just madness. But, I mean, these are the examples that I'm pointing out because it's like, this is the real stuff that is starting to come out. This is just the stuff that that people are going to start seeing more and more of. And wondering to themselves, it's like, how did I read this book or that book all these years but never made this connection?
They didn't have eyes to see.
They had the eyes to see.
Now they do.
Yep, or the ears to hear. Now, and now that people are listening to this, now that people can see these things, it's not me just saying these things. It's like, look, it's like no matter what, it doesn't even matter. Even if it was just me saying these things are going to pop up in your reality as something that's real. Because the things that I speak are the things that manifest. So people often call me, they're like, what are you, a priest, a king, a prophet? All three. I'll tell you what's to come, what has been, and what is now. That's the easy part. But the hard part is to prepare for it. Are you prepared for it? I can tell you all the
individual work.
It's the individual work.
Yes.
It's always going to be the individual work. Because I can't make you do anything.
No.
No. Not with being able to call you a sovereign being. No, I can't make you do anything, nor would I want to. Like, why would I want to? Like, that doesn't even make sense. No. It's like, what kind of enjoyable existence is that when everyone's just doing everything that you want them to do all the time when you say that you want them to do it?
It's like running a puppet show.
Yeah, that's a joke. That's the joke. That's the joke. Yet we have systems that are set up based on that type of order. Like,
and we call it reality.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Look, those that stand approved are those that can articulate this truth and then defend that truth, protect that truth. So they invite anybody to come up to that truth. The cynic, the skeptic, doesn't matter. Come, because I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of them. Why would I be afraid of them? It's like, what, you think you're going to box me in? You think you're going to trip me up? What do you think is going to happen? It's like I'm a wordsmith. It's like my tongue is my iron. It's my double-bladed sword that's going to cut these fools down. Truly. It's like, please just step up. Put me on any platform that you want with an audience, and please let me just do my thing and you do your thing. Let's do it. Let's just meet like two reasonable, mature people, and let's discuss these things. Why? Because if you say that you care about the world, then we should be having this conversation.
And I want a front row seat, please. I want to be there.
Yeah, I mean,
because the debates, and it needs to be done. Truths need to be told, and you're here to bring those forth.
Yeah, I'm not here saying to you like, hey, don't challenge me. This is my word. I say, and so it is. No, I'm saying, look, if you don't believe me, please challenge me. I'll prove it to you all day long.
You've done just the opposite. You've made me prove it for myself.
Exactly.
You've made me do the research and find my own answers, which always comes back to the truth.
Yeah, always comes back to the truth. Comes back to the very thing that I was telling you in the first place, but now you understand because you did the work to pursue it to understand. So, I mean, that's where we're at. So a lot of the things that I say might be a first time for a lot of people, and they're going to have to go and do some work on their own. They're going to have to figure this out. It's like, why do I just make such claims? You don't you think these claims are just things that I throw out without thinking? Like, that there's no history behind it, no facts, no proof? Please. All day, anything that I say, go ahead and look it up. Look it up.
And I can't wait for you to start producing the proof that you have, the thousands and thousands of things you've written.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that yet. This isn't just a guy sitting here talking. This is a guy that's produced more work in this realm of reality than anybody on this planet, having to do with information. It's like the amount of content that I've written on this information that I've pulled through, that I've deciphered and decoded, translated into this language. That's why you guys have those myths that Hermes wrote 35,000 books when he was alive and stuff like that. Because first of all, it's like a book isn't like a book. Like, define a book to me. Like, what's a book except for organized content? Nobody says how long it is. Nobody says how big the page is. Nobody says how many words is on it. So what's a book and what was considered a book back then? I mean, these are the things that are being argued about that don't even matter.
Right.
It's like
it's just the words that matter.
It's the information. It's like, was the content not given and written or transmitted orally or not? It was? Okay then. So how many things could you compile out of that? Well, shit, if you made a book with just one word in each book, then hell, that's millions of books, right?
Correct,
so it's stupid stuff that we're even talking about. Yeah. So if anybody wants to know, like, quantify what I brought through,
it's
like, there's no human understanding for that. There's no human understanding for that. Because it would take them the rest of their life just to go through the information I wrote in the last year and a half.
Yes.
That's it. 19 months. In 19 months, I wrote more information than somebody can even pass through in their life. Their life.
Yeah.
And that's why this world is in the state it is, because I did that last time. And the world has been trying to decode this stuff for 2,000 years and trying to interpret it. So now, that's what this period marks. It's like, just get it from the horse's mouth. It's like, I'll give you the clarity myself. I will meet you where you are, and I will bring you up to where you need to be through understanding. But I can't give you understanding. Anybody out here claiming that they can give anybody understanding is lying. You can't give anybody understanding. What you can give is give knowledge, and then their spirit can work inside with them in order to gain that understanding. That's it.
Well said.
Yep.
It's those simple things that people have forgotten how to do.
Mm-hmm. It is, and this is the big reminder. It's the big reminder.
It's the wake up call.
Yeah, it's the pure wake up call. And humanity's been being woken up for a while, but not a message as direct as this. No message can be as direct as this, because no one has had the words to say these things. I mean, even look at these channels. These beings that are so-called these extraterrestrial, higher dimensional beings that are being channeled through. They're still limited by the vocabulary and the speech of whoever they're channeling through. And even still, think about how many words that you actually know. You know a lot of words. Now, you only use a limited amount, but you know a lot of words. Those entities have access to that whole database of words, and their messages still sound this shitty? It's like,
good point.
Come on. It's like they can't articulate the truth because they don't know it. They don't know it. They don't know it. They do not have.
But they know their little piece of it. Everybody's got their own little piece of it.
If it's not whole at this point, it doesn't matter. That's my message. It's like, if you're not bringing something whole to the table, don't come to the table, because we ain't got nothing to talk about unless you're coming to the table to learn. Because I'm not coming here to learn from humans. I've already been here learning from humans. And it's been a joke. Now it's time for humans to learn from something that comes from beyond this.
Yes.
So I've listened. Oh man, I've had patience and listened. But have I been out here speaking? Have I been out here talking? No. Because I wouldn't talk until I know.
Right.
So now I'm talking. Because, hey, I've heard what everybody else has got to say.
And believe me, I've tried to get you to talk to others. Please go talk to someone else.
You have. You absolutely have.
People need to hear this message. That it's just...
Yeah. You have, but the message is too big for any of those individuals, because they're not worthy enough for this message to be singled out. That's why I'm not calling anybody specific out except for those big players. The only person I call out specifically is the Pope. That's like really like, I mean, as far as a spiritual so-called master goes on this planet, go ahead, bring him up. He should
be the top one.
Bring him up. Bring him up. Bring him up. Bring him up. anywhere, any place, any time, bring them on. Because
Or anyone that thinks they're
anybody. But
knowledgeable.
But for all the others, I don't even name you specifically because, I mean, you're not even worth singling out on this. Because at least he's got the audience, so I can convert people. That's all I care. It's not about the man, it's about his crowd.
You want the
It's about getting
conversion.
my
That's
sheep
what you're
back.
here for, gathering everyone together.
Yeah, I'm getting my sheep
Take
back.
them home.
This family does not belong to them. No, they are not their caretakers. They are not their friends. They are not their leaders. They are not anything to us, except for teachers to help us grow beyond them. That's what they are for us. But to make our homes and to lay in their beds, to eat their food, to accept their traditions, now that is disgusting. It's disgusting. And now it's time to get our people back. Because our people, man, look, they've suffered enough on account of their ignorance. Mm-hmm. Now, if these words are resonating, now something's being triggered and they're remembering something. Now, they might not consciously comprehend it, but who cares? Just bring yourself. Follow your spirit, bring yourself. Because come out of her, right? That's what they were told in Revelation. Come out of her. Come out of her. Who is her? Everybody down here has been arguing about who is her, right? Who is her? Come out of her, right?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's just sit here for a second and think about that. It's like, do I have the answer? Sure, I have the answer. But does my answer matter? No, my answer doesn't matter. Because if they can't see it, then they're not going to get out of her because they don't know that they're in her. So what could possibly be this her that they're referring to, right? Except for, it's like, what are the things in this world that make you feel uncomfortable? What are these things that give you pain? What are these things that make you suffer? What are these things that hold you back? What are these things that try and control you? What are all those things? That's what I'm telling you, come out of.
Right.
All that. Come
Leave
out
the
of
drama behind.
of that. And I want to say something about the drama, because the drama, here's the thing, there's good drama and bad drama. Because they're coming out of bad drama, moving into good drama. Because this is good drama. Because it's going to be drama.
We have drama.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be drama. But this is the good drama. This is the actual show that is the main show on being displayed in the universe. So, yeah, come be a part of this, because this is the real drama. That fake drama, now that doesn't matter. Nobody's watching that show anymore.
The difference is that drama brings nothing but fear and pain. This drama brings joy and freedom.
Exactly. Joy and freedom. I mean, there's no fear over here.
No.
Like, I mean, the only thing that people are sensing as far as fear is themselves. They fear and coming back underneath the fold of the divine because of whatever things that they carry with themselves. But they ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not out here doing all that. That's them doing that to themselves. The path has always been open. The door has always been held. But to walk through it, now that's the part that they haven't done yet.
And that's hard. That was a hard one. But it doesn't matter. It's time. We're running out of time. People need to move.
It doesn't matter. It's like, it says that it's like, you're gods. If you're a god, what do you think what do you think is expected out of you? Out of people, it's like, that's what this education system is for. The education system is to play a part in that cosmic process. Being part of that divine family. Being part of the divine family is having all-knowing, and then having unified that with all understanding. And by having that, then you are a sovereign being. You are a godlike being. And being a godlike being, then there are responsibilities that come with that power. Or else this wouldn't exist. Right? It wouldn't. So we're in the people that I'm talking to, and let me clarify something before, because I was thinking about this after one of our conversations. People, again, people means mass. When I say people, I'm talking about the avatars, but I'm always talking to the spirit inside that avatar. So I'm talking about the family of truth. So when I say the people and referring to this, I'm talking about the family of truth that might not recognize themselves as being part of that family, or how inclusive that family really is, until they do remove that mask in its entirety. All those identities and conceptions and all that other stuff. But yeah, I mean, go ahead.
You have to step out of all of that. You have to step away from it to see it.
Yeah, it's shedding his skin, right? Like a snake. It's like, just shed that skin, and then it's like you're already wearing a new one. It's like, just shed the old one. I mean, it's not even a hard thing. It's like, you don't even have to go buy a new set of clothes. You're already wearing them. Just take the old ones off. Like, I mean, it sounds so easy when I say it, but it really is that easy, because you're not being asked a lot. You're not being asked anything other than what you chose in the first place. So that's the whole thing. Nobody asked you to do it. Nobody asked you to do it. So the fact that everybody's here and doing it, then you're already doing it. There's no not doing it. You're already doing it. So if you're already doing it, then I didn't make you do it. You chose to do it. Now I'm here to help you understand why you chose to do it.
And to help us wake up and figure out how to do it the right way.
How to do it the right way.
What we need to do.
Yeah, just because there's a job that we came here for. There's a mission that's being activated, that's being initiated right now. It's being brought literally online, so that we wake up and that we can fulfill that job. Because, wise people here are here to capture souls. That's what wise people do here. They capture souls. So if that soul is already, if somebody already has claims on that soul other than that person themselves, the outside force, then you're here to do direct battle with that force, because that soul doesn't belong to them. It belongs to an individual. And we're here about that individual freedom. That's what we're here for. So we're freeing souls out of the clutches of control. And that's the mission. So if anybody thinks that that's not a battle, or that's not going to be hard, I mean, I hear it all the time, the conversations. I mean, we even started this out with the family that I used to know. And just my sentiments towards that. But people are feeling that. They're saying, oh, these conversations are hard to have with the people that I care about. They don't seem to care. There's arguments, this, that, and another thing. Yeah, it's supposed to, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. I mean, if you're going to win souls out of the clutches of all of this, then yeah, it's going to be a pretty hard conversation, because those people they've completely sold out to it. They completely sold out to it. So it's like we have a choice to where we have to use that discernment in ourselves to where, is this a person that wants that change or not? If they don't want it, then you don't try and put it on them. You have to be wise enough to recognize that. But if they are leaving an opening, are still curious and are still pursuing you for more information, then you keep on giving it little by little by little. It doesn't matter how much, when, anything. You always make yourself available to them to give them that information when they need it. Because now you become that dependable person in their life. Because you're dependable with truth. That's the job. That's literally the job. So just be dependable with your truth. Nobody's saying that you got to have all these long speeches or the complicated philosophies and books and explanations. No, just give them a little element that's applicable to their life at that time, in that moment. Because you're meeting them where they are. So don't give them too much to where they get turned off. It's like, that's the whole problem. People get turned off the truth because people overload them with so much stuff and say, you have to do this, you have to do that, it's about this, it's about that. It's so much information, and people are so excited about sharing the information that it seems forceful. And when it seems forceful, it's a turnoff. People don't want it. Even as genuine or sincere as somebody might be, or as true as it might be, it's still a turnoff in that moment, because it's how it's being applied. Nobody wants it applied that way. Everybody wants to feel that they had the choice to come into it under their own pace, under their own time, under their own, with their own questions.
Feeling in control of yourself.
In control. Yeah. Right? So... Good.